She's not stable. Don't listen to her, my sister said loudly as relatives stared at me. I froze. Then a stranger walked up and placed a sealed court file in my hands. My name is Lauren Mitchell. I'm 38 years old. I work as a part-time librarian, living a quiet and simple life surrounded by books, routine, and peace. In my family, I'm seen as the difficult one, the one who questions things, the one who doesn't just nod and agree. My sister is the favorite, always trusted, always believed, the one everyone turns to when decisions need to be made. Over the years, I noticed inconsistencies in family decisions, especially about money and property, things that didn't quite add up when I thought about them too closely. Whenever I spoke up, I was dismissed or labeled as overthinking, as making problems where there weren't any. Slowly, my family began treating me like I was unreliable, like my words didn't carry weight. Invitations became fewer, conversations colder. My sister often spoke over me or corrected me publicly, making sure everyone knew she was the reasonable one. I never wanted conflict, just clarity, just honesty. I tried to keep peace, even when I felt something was wrong, even when my gut told me to push harder. I wasn't loud or impressive, but I had something they didn't expect. I noticed patterns, and I never forgot them. If people have ever made you feel like your voice didn't matter, you're not alone. Have you been dismissed or silenced when you knew something was wrong? Share your story in the comments. Subscribe if this resonates with you. Click hype or like if you've ever been misunderstood. The family gathered at a small reunion at our parents' house, the kind of event where everyone pretends everything is fine. The living room smelled like coffee and fresh pastries, warm and inviting, but the atmosphere felt heavy. Discussions turned toward inheritance and property decisions, topics that had been avoided for years. I asked simple questions about missing details, things I'd noticed in documents I'd seen before. My sister interrupted loudly, her voice sharp and dismissive. "You're confused again, Lauren." Family members began to side with her immediately, nodding along, agreeing without even hearing my full question. My sister escalated, labeling me as unstable in front of everyone, saying I couldn't be trusted to understand these matters. Some relatives whispered to each other. Others avoided eye contact with me entirely. I felt publicly humiliated, but tried to stay calm, to keep my voice steady. My parents asked me to let it go, to avoid conflict, to not make things harder than they needed to be. I realized in that moment I was being pushed out of serious discussions, excluded from decisions that affected me directly. The situation became uncomfortable and tense. I stepped outside to clear my head, to breathe, to think. Then a stranger approached me. He handed me a sealed court file with my name written clearly on the front. Over the following weeks, things got worse. I was left out of important family decisions about property, discussions happening without me, emails sent to everyone except me. My sister controlled all conversations, steering them in the direction she wanted, shutting down anyone who asked too many questions. She continued to tell relatives I was unstable and unreliable, that I didn't understand complicated matters, that I needed to be kept at a distance for my own good. People began to treat me differently, speaking to me slowly, carefully, like I might break. Then my parents asked me to sign documents I didn't fully understand. They insisted it was just routine paperwork, nothing I needed to worry about. But I felt something was off. I felt isolated, cut off from the family I'd tried so hard to stay connected to. But instead of falling apart, I began observing more carefully. I reviewed past conversations, replayed moments in my mind, noticed patterns I'd missed before. My sister grew more confident, believing I had no power, no voice, no options. She said it to my face once. "No one takes you seriously, Lauren." I didn't argue. I just nodded. and I started connecting the dots. What they didn't know was that I had already started digging. I'd been saving emails, messages, and documents over time, not because I was paranoid, but because I paid attention. I noticed discrepancies in property ownership and financial records, things that didn't match up when I compared them side by side. The sealed court file the stranger handed me contained additional legal information connected to my family, records I didn't even know existed. I carefully reviewed everything, spreading it out on my kitchen table late at night, marking dates, highlighting inconsistencies. I had a plan they never saw coming. I organized the information into a clear timeline, connecting events, showing patterns that couldn't be explained away. I prepared myself before confronting anyone, rehearsing what I'd say, how I'd present it. I let my family continue underestimating me, thinking I was too confused, too unstable to do anything. My confidence grew as the truth became clearer. I knew timing was everything. The stranger who handed me the file revealed himself as a former employee of the family business, someone who'd been wronged by them years ago. He reached out to me privately, sharing additional insights about financial irregularities, transactions that had been hidden, decisions made in secret. He confirmed that my concerns were valid, that I wasn't imagining things, that I wasn't overthinking. He'd been waiting for the right moment to expose the truth, and he saw in me someone who might actually do something with the information. Together, we reviewed documents and built a stronger case, cross-referencing dates, verifying signatures, tracing money trails. Meanwhile, my family became more confident. My sister started finalizing decisions without my input, announcing plans like they were already set in stone. The family assumed I would stay silent, that I'd eventually give up and go along with whatever they decided. But I was preparing for a direct and undeniable confrontation. The tension built as a major family gathering approached, a dinner where final announcements would be made. Everything was set for a turning point. The family gathered for an announcement dinner at a restaurant, a formal event where my sister planned to present the final property decisions. The room buzzed with conversation, the clinking of glasses and silverware filling the air. My sister confidently presented the plan, speaking as the authority, laying out how everything would be divided, how everything would be managed. I remained calm and silent at first, sitting at the far end of the table, watching. At the right moment, I interrupted. My voice was steady, clear. Before we finalize anything, I think everyone should see this. I presented the court file and the documented evidence I'd gathered. You called me unstable. Let's look at the facts. I laid out timelines, documents, and inconsistencies on the table for everyone to see. I showed where signatures had been forged, where dates didn't match, where money had been moved without proper authorization. The room shifted as family members began to understand what they were looking at. The former employee stepped forward, confirming key details, adding his testimony to mine. My sister tried to dismiss it, laughing nervously, saying I was making things up, but she struggled to explain the documents in front of her. Authority shifted as facts became undeniable. My parents were forced to listen, to really look at what I was showing them. I remained calm, controlled, and precise. The same people who doubted me now questioned everything they'd been told. My sister lost credibility in front of everyone. The narrative completely reversed. I stepped away from family control that night and set clear boundaries moving forward. I refused to sign anything without full transparency, without understanding every detail, without having my own legal counsel review it. My family faced the consequences of their actions. Investigations were opened, trust was broken, and relationships changed permanently. I focused on my own stability and independence, building a life that didn't depend on their approval or their decisions. I no longer tried to prove myself to people who had dismissed me for years. I gained confidence in my ability to stand firm, to trust my instincts, to speak up even when no one wanted to listen. They said I was unstable, but I was the only one paying attention. If you've ever been called unstable or ignored when you spoke the truth, you know how frustrating that feels. The doubt, the isolation. Share your story in the comments. Subscribe to connect with others who've been underestimated. Click hype to help this story reach people who need it. If this story resonated with you, please give it a like and click hype to help it reach more people who need to hear it. Your voice matters in our community. Share your own experience in the comments below. I'm reading.